So you want to open a gym. Great. Bold. Very, I saw a crowded Planet Fitness once and did some math on a napkin. Let's talk about that napkin. Here's the fantasy. Rent a warehouse, throw in some dumbbells, put a smoothie bar in the corner, and watch the money print itself. And honestly, walk into any gym at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, and it looks like that fantasy is real. Every treadmill's taken. There's a guy doing curls in the squad rack. The front desk line is longer than the DMV. You think this place is a gold mine. Congratulations! You just fell for the single most misleading hour in the entire fitness industry. That's not a business. That's a mirage with cardio equipment. Because here's the actual truth, and it's a little insulting if you're an idealist. A gym is not a fitness company. It's a subscription company that happens to keep some kettlebells around for ambiance. Understand that, and every dollar the business makes, or quietly loses, starts making sense. Let's start with the price of admission, because, spoiler, it's not the barbells. Before you've sold a single membership, you need to turn an empty commercial box into a place where sweaty humans are legally allowed to congregate. Landlords, bless their hearts, will ask for 3 to 6 months of rent up front just as a security deposit before you've hung a single mirror. Then comes the build-out. Rubber flooring that won't crack under a dropped barbell runs $10,000 to $40,000. Locker rooms need proper drainage and moisture-proof everything, another $10,000 to $50,000. Wall-to-wall mirrors, because nothing says motivation like watching yourself suffer from 12 angles, another few thousand. And then there's the cost nobody thinks to plan for. Air. Turns out, a room full of humans generating heat and moisture for hours needs serious industrial ventilation, and building code doesn't let you eyeball it. There's an actual formula for how much fresh air per person the room needs. Run the math on a packed gym floor, and you're looking at a full HVAC overhaul, easily another $10,000 to $50,000, just so your members don't pass out from their own body heat. Add licensing, insurance, and a cash cushion to survive the slow months, and a modest gym can cost anywhere from $300,000 to over $1 million before you unlock the front door for the first customer. Cool. Totally casual amount of money. Now, do you buy the equipment or lease it? Pick your poison. A single commercial treadmill runs $2,000 to $8,000, and you need at least half a dozen. Strength machines are another few thousand each, and a real gym floor needs a dozen or more. All in, equipment alone can run $40,000 to $250,000. Now, you get to choose between 2 flavors of financial regret. Buy outright and you own it. Very responsible, very adult. Except you've just drained your cash reserves at the exact moment you need them most, and treadmills wear out faster under daily commercial abuse than your home elliptical that's basically a coat rack now. Lease instead, and your monthly payments stay small, but you're paying around 8% interest a year, which means over time, you hand over meaningfully more than the equipment is worth. And the lease doesn't care if your gym is thriving or dying, it keeps billing you either way, like a subscription you forgot to cancel, which, ironically, is the entire business model you're about to run. Poetic. Let's talk location, or how to pick the wrong neighborhood with confidence. Roughly 80% of a gym's members live within a 10 to 15-minute drive. That's your whole universe. Not the city, not the metro area, a 10-minute radius. So if you open a $150 a month luxury club in a neighborhood built on a $12 an hour average paycheck, no amount of eucalyptus-scented towels is saving you. And a flashy storefront in a busy area can cost you $25 to $120 per square foot in rent versus $12 to $20 somewhere quieter. So pick wrong and you've locked in a rent bill that requires a customer base your own zip code simply cannot provide. But sure, get the location with the good foot traffic. The rent's fine. It's fine. Now here's the part that explains literally everything else. The real business model, which is selling you a promise he won't keep. Every person who signs up for a gym falls into one of 2 futures. Either they show up 3 times a week, forever, or they go twice in January, feel very proud of themselves, and then quietly never return while the charge keeps hitting their card. Which one is more profitable for the gym? The one who never comes back, obviously. The regular uses hot water, wears down the treadmill belt, needs towels washed, and takes up floor space during the exact hour the gym is most crowded, which annoys everyone else into canceling. The Ghost member costs the gym almost nothing. No water, no wear, no crowding, just a monthly payment arriving like clockwork straight to the bottom line. Industry data says roughly 2 out of every 3 members rarely or never use the gym they're paying for. Read that again because it's the whole business plan disguised as a wellness brand. A gym with 6,000 members physically cannot fit even a fraction of them on the floor at once. Fire code wouldn't allow it. So the entire building is sized for the people who don't show up, not the ones who do. The forgotten membership sitting untouched on someone's bank statement isn't a failure of the system, it is the system. Congratulations, you're not selling fitness, you're selling guilt with a barcode scanner. Let's talk about the January sugar rush. About 12% of all annual gym signups happen in a single month, January. New year, new you, discounted joining fees, a wave of ambitious strangers with brand new leggings. Gyms lean into it hard, and it hands them a huge injection of cash and new billing all at once. But that wave crashes just as fast. About half of new members stop attending within 6 months, and up to 80% of the January resolution crowd has vanished by summer. February is basically the danger zone, the exact point where motivation runs out before habit kicks in. Smart owners treat January like a harvest season and save for the drought. Rookie owners spend it like it's a permanent raise and then wonder why July feels like a ghost town. Shocking. Almost like it was foreseeable. This next part's a little sinister, in a completely legal, very on-brand for capitalism way. It's the psychology department, also known as why you never cancel. The membership itself functions as a promise to your future self and a built-in guilt trip, which is exactly why people keep paying for something they don't use. Canceling means admitting the plan didn't work, and for $10 to $30 a month, most people would rather avoid that conversation with themselves entirely. And the gym knows this, so it designs the whole space to keep you emotionally attached, whether or not you ever set foot on the floor again. Clean layouts reduce intimidation for new members. Mirrors, placed strategically, help people track progress. But too many in a beginner zone can backfire into self-consciousness, so it's a careful science of flattering lighting and motivational playlists tuned to a tempo that makes cardio feel less miserable. None of it is decorative. All of it is retention engineering wearing a fun, colorful paint job. And then there's canceling itself, which is somehow always harder than joining. Some contracts require you to cancel in person or by certified mail, because apparently email is too convenient for an industry built on friction. Notice periods of 30 to 60 days guarantee at least one more billed month after you've already mentally checked out. And a solid chunk of all cancellations, 30 to 40%, just happened because a credit card expired, which gyms have entire departments dedicated to chasing down before you can quietly slip away. Regulators have taken notice too. A federal click-to-cancel rule got proposed, got struck down on procedural grounds, and cities have started passing their own versions with real penalties for gyms that make leaving deliberately painful. Which tells you everything. If the business truly depended on happy, engaged members, it wouldn't need to make the exit this hard. Here's a fun one. The hidden bill nobody budgets for. Music. Playing music in a commercial space isn't the same as your living room Spotify playlist. Legally, you need public performance licenses from multiple rights organizations at once, running a combined $1,300 to $4,000 a year for one location. Skip it, and you're not risking a slap on the wrist. Statutory damages for willful copyright infringement can run from $750 per song up to $150,000 per song if a court decides you knew better. So yes, the background playlist that nobody listens to anyway could bankrupt you faster than a bad lease. Very fitting for an industry built entirely on things you didn't realize you signed up for. Now let's talk about when the whole thing collapses anyway. Even giant chains built on this exact playbook have gone under, not because people stopped wanting to work out, but because the math connecting rent, debt, and equipment financing to actual reliable cash flow eventually broke. A gym can have a packed parking lot every single night and still be one bad debt structure away from insolvency. The crowd on the floor tells you nothing about whether the spreadsheet behind it can hold. So how does it actually make money? Mechanically, it's simple. Monthly dues times members minus fixed costs. A gym with roughly $30,000 in monthly overhead charging $89 a month needs a little over 300 paying members just to break even. Past that, additional members are close to pure profit because, say it with me, the marginal cost of an inactive member is basically zero. But getting there takes time, usually 12 to 18 months. An annual churn typically runs 30 to 40%, meaning a gym has to replace roughly a third of its members every year just to stay exactly where it started. That's not growth, that's a treadmill. Pun very much intended. The real profit engine is personal training. One-on-one coaching hits a hard ceiling, roughly $100,000 a year per trainer, because there are only so many hours in a day. Small group and semi-private sessions break that ceiling, letting a coach earn more per hour while each client pays less individually. The gym takes its cut off the top, but per hour, this is the most profitable thing happening on the entire floor, far more valuable than 100 forgotten memberships combined. So here are the two endings. In the good version of this story, you picked the right neighborhood, hit your break-even number on schedule, kept churn low, and built a real training program. A mid-size independent gym can pull in $500,000 to $1.5 million a year with a 10 to 20% profit margin, a genuinely solid outcome. In the realistic version, 2 or 3 ordinary things go wrong. Churn creeps up. A cheaper competitor opens 2 miles away. Equipment starts breaking more than expected. None of it is dramatic. No fire, no scandal, just a slightly higher cancellation rate and a slightly heavier repair bill, compounding quietly until the number at the bottom of the spreadsheet looks nothing like the plan you made on that napkin. So if you still want to open a gym after all this, and hey, plenty of people do it successfully, just remember the real lesson. It was never about how many people you can convince to sign up. It's about how well you can survive on the people who stop showing up.